Hi everyone. It's been a long time since I've done a video, and that's mostly been because the website that I post these to, not YouTube, Freshly Pop Culture, has been down for construction for a little over a month, but I figured I would still do an evergreen episode that you can watch anytime. I know there's been a long delay. There's been a little bit of laziness, and I've been busy, and there hasn't been a ton of games because it's the summer. And games never come out in the summer, which is really pathetic. But, finally, I got The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, as you can tell from the footage you're watching. And there's something that I've been thinking about that I've been trying to articulate, which is really most of these videos, to be honest. And that's the concept of nitpicking and how we, I guess, as gamers, I guess we all identify as that now. I'm the representative for all gamers. Or even people on the internet in general. We do a much better job of nitpicking than anything else when it comes to media or art or entertainment. And what I mean by that is, obviously it's easier to destroy than to build. It is easier to attack and critique and criticize and nitpick political candidates, ideas, games. It's so much easier for you to put into words why you don't like something, or why something doesn't work, or why it's bad, or why it sucks, or why it's stupid, than the opposite. It's actually really hard to talk about what a thing is doing really well, why it works, why you like it. I don't know why that is. It's just difficult, which is why most people aren't really good critics, or they don't have good taste, because you need to be able to identify a lot of the basic core tenets and mechanics of something, like in an art form, and then build upon that through years of experience and be able to compare that to a lot of other things that you've watched or played or read or whatever. So it's just a lot easier for someone to go, it's not my thing. And then just be niche, and for them to find the thing that they like and stick to it, and that's that. My mom likes watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette and The Big Bang Theory. It works for her. That is it. So, like, I would not go to her for TV opinions. And so it's easier to nitpick than anything else. And so I beat The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I spent a lot of time playing almost everything you can do in that game. And that game is obviously fucking amazing. We all know it's amazing. We all agree on all the things it does well. And instead of going into a video of, like, sort of retreading all of the things that we like about this game, I nitpicked. And this video is about nitpicking, because there's lots of little things that I noticed I thought were particularly bad. Again, the minority of that game are little tiny nitpicky things that are bad. Most of it is, a wide majority of it is fucking great. But for some reason, I sort of came away with all these little nitpicks that bothered me, particularly because they mostly came at the end of the game, so it was a lot of that. And so, instead of me making a video trumpeting all the amazing things Zelda does, I am putting out onto the internet, because I'm a hypocrite, I guess, all of the nitpicks that I have that I haven't seen people complain about. And I guess that's me sort of trying to fill in the conversation with things I have not seen other people discuss. But it's amazing that it's nitpicks, and it's not like, oh, I noticed this thing that no one else happened to, because that's not the case. I wish I was smarter so I could do that. But yeah, so obviously, if you haven't played it, go play it. If you're interested in buying it, you probably have already done that. I played it on a Wii U because I borrowed a Wii U, so, you know, I'll get around to the Switch dilemma of having to transfer the save or rebuy it or DLC or fucking God knows what down the line. But having played it, there are a few things that, like, it bothered me. And I don't mean in a general way that, like, the actual plot of the game is stupid. Like, the overall story is just the most forgettable throwaway nonsense. And, like, all of, like, the memory stuff doesn't work. And I like the characters, and I like the writing when you're just going to towns and talking to people. But, like, the voice acting and, like, the whole... It just... I don't know. I feel like that stuff worked when we were all kids, and it hasn't evolved whatsoever. Like, there's still a Princess Zelda, and like I just cringed a lot when she was like in cutscenes, and I was like, there's gotta be someone at Nintendo who wants to like actually progress this part of video games. Like, you guys have gameplay down to a T. Like, you know, could you just workshop a little more? Like, hire better people? I don't know. But not even that. The nitpicks are just like the dumbest, tiniest things that just get under my skin. And it's not the 99 things that Zelda does right. It's like the one thing that it does wrong. Or, I mean, in this case, there's a couple. But, like, there's a particular main quest mission that you have to do around Goron Mountain to get to that dungeon. And it's like this really bad escort mission. And I completely got lost trying to, like, get this dumb idiot. You have to keep whistling to like get through the path, which is like not clear whatsoever. So that was a chore. All the dungeons are not good. Like, 2 of them are terrible. 2 of them are just really awful. And I had to like sort of cheat my way around them, and I feel like I did them in ways they weren't supposed to be done in. And the other 2 are just, they're okay. Like, you're not gonna get that classic Zelda dungeon. Because the game gives you all the items at the beginning, which is awesome, because then the entire game can be built around the central idea of using those, the ice and the stopping time and the magnet and the bombs. But it got a little tiresome just because a lot of the puzzles were sort of being solved the same way. And then at the end of the game, you sort of run into more shrines that you have to do a lot of really cool things to get to, but once you get to the shrine, they just give you the prizes, and it's just like, there were just so many shrines I was like, okay, I'll take this freebie, but it doesn't quite feel deserved. Some of them were not. They were just really silly. And I feel like that combination of like, you get through like your 50th shrine, and then you get to your 3rd or 4th Divine Beast dungeon, and you're just like, do I really need to do this? Do I want to do this? I guess I have to. I guess I'll use more hearts. Not that the, game is, like, that difficult once you, like, get enough stamina and hearts. Like, initially it is, which is really awesome. But yeah, yes, I sort of missed the classic dungeons, and it felt a little tiresome. And the other thing that I actually noticed, like, as I was sort of wrapping up, was I was like, okay, like, I feel like I've done everything that I wanted to do. There's a couple of things that I could do. Do I want to do them? Should I just go to the castle and beat Ganon? The castle, by the way, is awesome, so, like, that whole part was amazing, but you don't really, like, there's no tangible rewards other than just better items that you end up either destroying in combat or just sort of eating. Like, there wasn't, like, one thing that was like, oh, I gotta do that because I'm gonna permanently raise, my stats like Dark Souls, or like, oh, I got this amazing ring that makes me roll fast. It was just a lot of like, oh yeah, I guess I can take more diamonds to sell, I guess, for more shields that'll break. Like, at a certain point, like, you sort of have the stuff that you need and you don't need more. In all the side quests, most of them just give you food or topaz or sapphire stuff, and like, it just wasn't worth going through some of those quests just because the quests were really tedious, or they were very annoying, or like they weren't complicated, they were just like sort of monotonous. And sometimes you do something really great and there wouldn't be a reward, and you were like, okay, that was fun, I guess. Some of the quests are really great, they're actually really intelligently designed, and they're really well written, and some of them actually have really cool rewards. But it's so hard when there's like 70-something quests to know which ones to do and which ones to sort of skip. I don't know. Like, as much as that game does well being an open world game, really the most fun is just going around exploring. And once you've done all the exploring, or once you've sort of found all that you need to find, you have to sort of rely on whatever structured content there is left. And then there's so much of it that not all of it is a winner, so you end up like having you end up like eating all of the best parts of the meal, and then you get to the stuff and you're like, do I have to eat my broccoli now? Like, it's there, I could, or I could just beat the game and be done with it. Like, it was sort of weird how like I didn't have this initial gut reaction to like playing all the Dark Souls games, you want to play them again because you you miss stuff, or you want to keep that New Game Plus going. But like when you play Zelda and you beat the boss, this is not a spoiler, this is a warning. You just go back to the main menu, and it has that problem of like, oh yeah, you're done now, okay, and then I don't know if they're gonna patch in, or maybe they did. I have no idea. Like the Fallout 3 problem of like, okay, you beat the final boss. And then people were like, well, can I go back to my save and, like, keep doing the stuff I missed? I was like, no, not really. Which is just like, it's lame. That's not, you know, good. Like, you couldn't have just saw that coming, that people wanted to go back and find all the shrines, I guess, if they really wanted to, which is stupid, because, like, why would you need to keep getting hearts if you already beat all the bosses? I don't know. So, yeah, Zelda's still great. I know I'm sounding negative about it. Again, nitpicking, that's sort of the point of the episode. So yeah, if you really feel like being a wacko or being funny, you could intentionally not do some of the dungeons, or like not go in the sort of order they want you to, or not go. You could go be a rebel and go to the hardest places and try to, you know, sequence break, which is really cool for people who like have played the game multiple times. But like none of that stuff holds up as being like fantastic when you're starting out, because you're just like, okay, like I'm gonna learn and not go to places I can't overcome. I'm gonna not fight enemies I can't beat and work my way around the map in a sort of like, you know, you're not gonna go to the farthest edge first because I don't have clothes that like can battle the desert or the icy mountains. You know, like there are certain limits to that, like super freedom. Like yeah, super freedom is great, but like you need to have like a little more. And having the quest log just being like, oh, solve this puzzle that you heard from the bird guy with the accordion. And it was like, do I have to, like, run around for 30 minutes, like, trying to find this one fucking tree he was talking about? Like, do I really need to, like, get that shrine piece, or can I just leave and go find more weapons that broke? I have to keep holding more weapons so that I could break them and get more weapons. Boy, weapon degradation. I hate that. So, that's my episode on nitpicking. I will continue to do so. I will try not to, but it's hard. It's really hard when you know something is really great and you're just totally into how great it is, and everyone agrees how great it is, and all that's left is to nitpick. It's so weird how us humans do that. Oh, if we could be robots. Oh, boy. Well, until I become a cyborg or a robot, keep playing games and keep watching the video, and let me know if you like these or if you don't. I don't really care what you do. If you made it this far, congrats. So, until the next time, which will hopefully be sooner rather than later, go to freshlypopculture.com, which is a website that me and my friend put these things up on. So, there you go. Well, he doesn't make the videos, I make the videos, he writes. But put our stuff on, I guess. Okay. Adios.